God. Brilliant. All right. Well, welcome everybody from all parts of the US and abroad. Today for the LA HubSpot user group, we're going to be covering Web3 and the Metaverse, which I kind of lives under Web3, but the people that you see on the screen right now include myself. I'm the head of strategy here at Matter Marketing, our executive director of consulting, Michael Emery, and our CEO, Latal Barkin. But most importantly, you know, besides the fact we are totally thrilled to have you all take time out of your day to come sit in on this session, we're beyond thrilled to have Ben Harmanus with us to present an incredibly exciting and sometimes more than not for me, mystifying topic of Web3. So I will let you take it away, Mr. Harmanus. Where did you go? There you are.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was my fault. I needed to stop my share so he could start.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Just give me a second to organize my desktop. Now let's get started. Okay, I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Michael and team. Some fun facts about me. In another life, I used to be a professional extreme sports athlete. During that time, I learned what it means to shed blood, sweat, and tears to inspire my audience. And I learned a lot about marketing. And I was an extra in the Hunger Games movie, which is kind of like a secret shooting at an abandoned airport in Berlin. I'm not kidding. I Googled it and I found this leaked photo from myself on set. I spotted myself, but good luck spotting me somewhere in the background between like crowded places and then also all the CGI. I don't think you will find me, but you'll be more successful if you look for me on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect. Before we
That's
start,
your connection to the LA Hub. You're Hollywood.
I'm Hollywood. It's sad. I never made it to Hollywood, and I never made it to LA. I made it to San Diego, been there many times, but never made it to LA. I think I still have to check that one, right?
Yet Palm Springs is next after that. So
okay, virtually I made it, but that doesn't count, I guess. Okay, before we start, all experiences and information shared today do not constitute investment advice. All thoughts on the future, the risks and opportunities of Web3, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DAOs, and the metaverse are personal, will not replace your own research or professional advice. Please do not, under any circumstances, make investments based solely on today's presentation. Despite careful research, misjudgment may occur. I've added the full disclaimer at the end of my presentation. I think the best way to start this session is to understand what differentiates Web3 from its predecessors. Web 1 refers to the first version of the World Wide Web. A characteristic of this period is that users navigated the web to find and take in information. Very few built web pages or were content creators. Those who were usually hosted websites and content on their own servers at home or rented web space to host content. Without a basic understanding of how the internet works, it was impossible to publish content. For the most part, visitors could only consume the content or download files, but not post anything on those websites or interact with any other way. On a positive note, the web was by far more decentralized than it is today. The Web 2 introduced website interaction. Social networks became popular. Web users could now easily publish their own content in a user-friendly way, photos, videos, and entire blogs. Programming skills were not necessary anymore. It was the rise of user-generated content. I have taken advantage of this and started uploading videos to YouTube instead of hosting them myself, which was costly and complex before that. It sounds trivial today if you're younger than me and maybe 10 years younger than me, like you can't remember that time, but it was revolutionary. Gone were the days of poor user experience. For my community, we had to literally download those videos, unzip them, and then watch them in a separately downloaded player using like weird codecs and stuff. And I didn't have to worry about too much traffic that would break my website, which happened several times. It's been 16 years since this video was released, and it was probably one of the first web TV shows back then. One big criticism, however, of Web 2 is the heavy centralization of the World Wide Web. Critics call out that a few large tech companies have become the true owners of data and traffic streams. And think of it, much of what is created by you, what you have played for, conquered, uploaded, it's not yours, but more on that later. So here are some services that shape Web 2. Social networks like Facebook or LinkedIn, video platforms such as Vimeo and YouTube, audio platforms like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, WordPress for, or Tumblr for bloggers, but also Web 2 games such as Second Life, World of Warcraft, Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, which allow gamers to build their own worlds and make them accessible to others, which enable joint fighting or fighting against each other, but also social interaction. So here we go. Web3 promises to give web users back control over their data and content. Data is stored in a database, the blockchain, which is not controlled by one person or one company, but is controlled decentralized. No one can randomly change this database outside of the rules programmed in the code. The cryptocurrency and NFTs in the wallet is solely under control of the account owner or holder. No third party can close your account. Decentralized social networks are also possible where users have control over their data. Unlike with most platforms today, I would say, through its decentralized structure, Web3 is rethinking digital ownership. And in the next 30 minutes, I'll share more about wallets and tokens and how all of this is connected to the metaverse.
Ben, would you like people to ask questions in the chat, or should they just unmute and pipe up, or do you want to hold it till the end?
I think you can just interrupt me if you want. Just ask your questions right away.
Okay, great.
But I have a question right now. Who has a crypto wallet? And let's see if the tech wants to play along. So you can vote now. Who has a crypto wallet? And by crypto wallet, I mean, you can use MetaMask, Coinbase wallet, Phantom, Cryptum.com, Kraken, Binance, like basically centralized and decentralized solutions. Okay, I do, I don't. No one's unsure. That's good. I've seen that happening. So okay. Should we wait for 5 more seconds?
Sure.
Okay, it seems like.
All right. About 50. Oh, let's end it right now at 50,
Yeah.
50.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it's 50-50. 50-50. So 50% say they have a crypto wallet and 50% say they don't. Okay, how do I remove this? I just close the window, I guess.
Did it not remove?
It's still there, but let me see if I can continue to click. Can you see the results right now?
Yeah, we just stopped sharing it and should be good.
Okay, I'll just close this window.
Yeah, these are their.
Okay. Okay, so for everyone who does not know what a wallet is, and then also, I would say for most people that have a wallet, they're not aware of all the differences. So let's dig deep into this one. So what is a crypto wallet? Basically, a crypto wallet is your Web3 digital wallet. A wallet provides you with user-friendly way to manage your cryptocurrency balance. For example, buy coins, send coins to another wallet, or receive coins. You can also control the exchange from one cryptocurrency to another via the wallet. You can authorize staking. In very simplified terms, you lock some tokens and receive coins in return, similar to an interest rate on a savings account. A wallet address can also be used for authentication in decentralized applications, the DApps, for example, to log into a Web3 game, similar to how you use a Google or Facebook login to log into like hundreds of thousands applications available today. So I would say think of a crypto wallet app as something, and that it's very important that you hear the difference. I'm talking about a crypto wallet app. So that's not your wallet, but it's a crypto wallet app as something like a remote control for TV. The remote control contains information about which TV you want to control. But in this case, you use it to manage your wallet address, your Web3 account. To do this, you have to store your public key, which is in traditional banking lingo would be your bank account number in the remote control, which could look like this. And you have to enter your private key, which is your secret PIN, which is similar to a PIN or password to access your online banking, which is a very long number. And then the thing is, if you lose your private key, so if you lose your password, you need a passphrase to recover it. It's similar to the PUK, the personal unblocking key for cell phone SIM cards. So that's your safety belt. The passphrase can be 12 randomly put together words, and you should store it outside the app. It is even recommended to write it on a piece of paper, and you should store it outside, outside of the app, because hackers can't access a piece of paper. I think if you would talk to your IT department, they would tell you never to write any passphrase or password down on paper. But with Web3, it's just very important to make sure you have a backup, and that's not digital. And because a crypto wallet app is just a remote control, you send signals to the blockchain, so it changes, the changes to your crypto wallet are made. There, on the blockchains, your tokens, your cryptocurrencies, or NFTs are publicly stored. And that is the real revolution. Once you've created your account number and PIN, your public key and private key, you can use countless wallet apps as a remote control for your account. But none of these apps can freeze or close your account ever. Your account is stored on the blockchain and you manage it yourself. And you can switch apps to manage the account or manage the same account across different apps at the same time. Think of it as if you had a bank account and you used the Bank of America to control it. But you could also use the Citigroup app to manage your account, or Deutsche Bank. You can use the same login data everywhere. Those banks need to offer great UI, a great user experience, great user interface, and keep building features and services to make you stick, or you will move on with your account in minutes, not days, not weeks, and your account stays the same. But there are some things you really need to know, because this is not true for every wallet address. There are two main types of wallets, the non-custodial wallets and the custodial wallets. You already know how a non-custodial wallet works. That's what I've explained just a minute ago. But let me add that while your transactions are censorship resistant and the exchange cannot freeze or run away with your assets, it's 100% your responsibility to maximize security and protect your private keys. If you lose the keys, there's no support, no third party that can reset a password or similar. So custodial wallets are wallet services offered by a centralized business, such as a cryptocurrency exchange. When you wish to send coins out of a custodial wallet, you simply log into the platform with a username or an email and a password, input the public key of the location to where you wish to send coins, and the business is responsible for inputting the private key to complete your transaction. When you outsource wallet custody to business, you are essentially outsourcing your private keys to that institution. You are not responsible for protecting the private key to the wallet, and you place trust in the business, keeping the private key safe. This creates an extremely simple solution for you, but also creates an additional layer of risk. There have been many exchanges that have been hacked, and I experienced exchanges to disappear overnight. Certain governments have prevented custodial wallets from completing transactions for citizens in certain areas, or have attempted to freeze the assets. So choose your exchange wisely. And as I said, custodial wallets have certain benefits, such as less user responsibility regarding private key management, and therefore for some of you, it can be better or a better way to start your Web3 and crypto journey.
I have
The
a
third op-
question, Ben.
Yes.
So on the non-custodial wallets,
Mhm.
if you lose your piece of paper with your 12 words on it, what happens? Like, where do those tokens go?
They are stored on the blockchain. They'll stay there, but it's like a safe that no one has the code to. Like no one can unlock it. It's just locked forever.
Locks forever.
Yeah. If you have the passphrase, which is this long keyword, like random keyword, it's one way to unlock it. So if you don't have the keys and you have the passphrase, but if the passphrase is gone and your keyword, then there's no one who can restore it. It's not like you have an email address to log in into a platform and then you say, oh, I forgot my password. Can you please reset it? And I set a new one. There's no way to do that.
I have a question as well. It, obviously they're different brands, but is there a real fundamental difference between MetaMask, Coinbase, and some of the others?
So when we talk about Coinbase, the thing is that there's Coinbase as an exchange, as a platform, and there's the Coinbase wallet. So the Coinbase wallet is like an independent solution from the Coinbase cryptocurrency exchange, where you go in and you can purchase all these crypto assets. It's a platform, but then you have this app, which is an extension that you can put into Chrome and then also have as a mobile app. It's similar to MetaMask. What I recently experienced is I wanted to transfer one account to my Coinbase wallet app from MetaMask, which didn't work, but you can transfer it in the other direction. So even they're different, like there's nuances to what services they provide. So in my case, and that's my recommendation, the one that's very universal and open and decentralized is always MetaMask. It's kind of like the Web3 go-to wallet that people use.
Thank you.
Okay, so a third option and subcategory of custodial wallets are Web2 companies offering you to buy crypto assets. While those companies offer you a very simple way to invest in crypto, many do not allow you to move your assets to crypto exchanges like Coinbase or non-custodial wallets managed via MetaMask. There are tons of other limitations that come with those custodial wallets, so I cannot recommend those if you truly want to navigate Web3. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong to store and manage your assets, yet in crypto, there's a popular saying, not your keys, not your crypto. And I want to highlight that I added PayPal and Robinhood as some of these Web2 companies offering you to purchase crypto. I'm not 100% sure if there's a difference in between, like how we can use it in Europe or in the US. So tell me if there is a difference, and what I'm telling you today is different in the US, but in Europe, if you basically use an app similar to Robinhood, which is there are other apps in Europe, you purchase those assets and you can't send them anywhere. They are locked. All you can do is speculate, but you're not participating in Web3 applications with that. So another question I have for you today, and let's see if now it's different from the 50-50 split that we've seen before. Who owns an NFT? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, yeah. Should we give it another 5 to 10 seconds?
5, 4, 3.
Yes, the countdown. All right. So yeah, 20% say I do, 80% say I don't. That's not surprising. We've seen a 50-50 split when it comes to the wallets, and now, of course, less people already bought an NFT, which is good because you will see some interesting examples and learn more about NFTs in just a second. All right. So what's an NFT? NFTs are non-fungible tokens. They are unique. They are non-exchangeable tokens issued on a blockchain. For comparison, if you would give $1 to a friend and that friend would give you back $1 a week later, it would not matter if he gave back the exact same dollar bill. $1 is exchangeable and each $1 bill retains the same value. It is the same with cryptocurrencies. One Bitcoin can be exchanged for one Bitcoin, it's one-to-one, it's the same thing, you can tell the difference. NFTs, however, serve as certificates of ownership for digital content. NFTs are the revolution for intellectual property rights because they actually limit digital assets and protect ownership. There are countless use cases. I'll show you some exciting examples in a moment. How do you get an NFT, for example, on websites of the companies or organizations that offer an NFT or collection, or on many NFT marketplaces where NFTs are traded? For example, if you weren't lucky enough to snag an NFT right at launch, you can hit the secondary market on an NFT marketplace like OpenSea. Most of the time, you buy NFTs in a currency that corresponds to the blockchain on which they were launched. It's very likely you pay with ETH if the NFT collection was released on the Ethereum blockchain. NFTs come in many forms. I think many people are not aware of this. They can be art. They can be your in-game avatar. They can be a certificate that you own a virtual apartment or a virtual piece of land. They can be an MP3 music file, a video, or what I've recently seen, which was super interesting, it can be a PDF, a conference ticket, or a baseball card. Let's take a deep dive into some interesting projects. Puma launched an NFT project where users could purchase the Puma Nitro token. In the beginning of many NFT collections, it is not clear what the origin token can be used for. Later, a Puma Nitro Pass NFT was sent to all wallets holding the Puma Nitro token. This is called an airdrop. You might have heard that before, where you have a wallet and then suddenly you receive an NFT token unasked. It's just because Puma knows, because it's public on the blockchain, you have the initial Puma Nitro token and they can see all the holders, so they can just send it to you and grant you another perk. The Nitro token became worthless now that holders received the Nitro Pass. In phase 3, owners of the Nitro Pass could decide whether they swap their pass for one of 2 different sneakers, each limited to 4,000 pairs worldwide. Once the sneakers were claimed, the Nitro Pass was burned. Burning means like it's just gone. You can't use it anymore and it's taken off your wallet. And holders received 2 NFTs, one serving as a digital equivalent to the physical sneaker they will receive in 2023, and one that grants access to the Puma Black Station Metaverse experience. The Nitro collection shall enable the NFT community to experience the Puma brand in a new way. NFT holders get a first look at the future of Puma, supreme access to unique Web3 experiences, product drops, membership to the Puma NFT community, and much more. I assume that in the future, holders of the Puma Nitro collection will be granted more perks, like additional NFTs or virtual experiences in Puma's Black Station. If you're curious to learn more, you can also dig into the Nike project or Adidas, because their project launched a year ago, so they're more advanced right now.
So Ben, we have a question in the chat, and it's from Ken, who had said, but an NFT is only as good as a custodian of the actual asset. All you own is a pointer. For example, if Bored Apes decided to delete all the ape pictures, all you'd be left with is a pointer to an empty address, correct?
I think that is correct. Yes. So it's but correct me if you have like heard otherwise, or if there are different solutions where all the assets are hosted on the blockchain. But so far, yes, what you get is something that's pointing you into a direction where you can actually get access to the PDF or the data. Okay, so another project, the World of Women, is another interesting project, not only because it is one of the most successful female-led projects in the NFT space. Buyers of the World of Women NFTs received another NFT, the World of Women Galaxy NFT. They did not have to swap the original NFT for it. Holders of both the original World of Women and the World of Women Galaxy NFT received a so-called capacitor NFT. Again, no one knew what this was about, and this is Web3 storytelling, where they want people to be curious and to find some hints and then just trying to find out what it is. So the community starts chatting and guessing. Each capacitor, depending on its color, can be swapped for a virtual residence, the Nebula Quarters, or the Origin Residence. owners of those virtual spaces can connect them and create one larger space. So the initial investment into the one NFT from the origin collection of World of Women can turn into the ownership of 4 different NFTs, as long as you don't decide to sell them or just give them away.
So do you see, Ben, do you see a lot of utility usage for NFTs in general?
Yeah, I think what has changed in the past year, I would say, is well, in the beginning, having this nice PFP, which is like a profile picture thing that you do. So you have a Bored Ape, or you had like a Boss Beauty NFT, like where it was just enough to know you hold this one, the artwork, and you can gamble and sell or just hold it. I think I haven't seen any project recently that doesn't come with utility. I think you have to have a roadmap. You have to tell people that there's more coming, and it will unlock more features and perks in the future. And I think I would also say there's no project where they don't connect it to the metaverse, even though sometimes it's a bit blurry if it's truly connecting to some kind of like metaverse thing, but everyone's trying to build more than just having this gallery of 10,000 pictures.
Sure. And would you say that largely led to the crash that we've all heard about of NFT values? The fact that they weren't pointed to utility and they were really just about effective digital art?
Oh, you think, no, I think not really. I think what's happening right now, that's very personal. That's my personal opinion. I think what's happening to the crypto space right now is totally disconnected from what's happening in the space, because people keep building. Actually, everything that's happening right now, and I'm consuming this every day, like I'm connecting to people, seeing what projects are launched. It's getting better day by day. So I think it can't be connected to what people build, because it's literally getting better day by day. It's more like uncertainty, and there's so many macroeconomic circumstances right now. It's hard to tell what's having an impact on stocks, what's having an impact like basically on every business, or crypto in general. I also see all these roller coasters. I don't even know why Ethereum went up today. Like I texted a friend, I was like, do you know what's happening? It's like, it's 12%. I don't know where this is coming from. Like there's no, maybe I missed it. But it's just, people keep building. I'll get back to that later.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So what kind of German would I be if I did not share an example of how Web3 can excite the beer-loving community? It's very likely that the German brewery Metabrew is the world's first Web3 beer brand. Owning one of 6,000 MBS NFTs grants you 240 cans of beer per year delivered to your door and other perks. But that's not it.
If you want to relax and just
owning the NFT, you're a member of the Metaverse Society DAO. And a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. It's a blockchain-based form of organization or a company that's governed by a native crypto token or NFT. Anyone who purchases and holds these fungible or non-fungible tokens, in this case, it's a non-fungible token, gains the ability to vote on important matters directly related to the DAO. DAOs typically use smart contracts in place of traditional corporate structures to coordinate the efforts and resources of many towards common aims. These are self-executing computer programs that carry out a particular function of the NFTs, have exclusive voting rights on which beer will be brewed or in which city the next beer shop will be opened. Okay, Web3 is all about ownership. That's what I said before. Voting rights are not enough. Get 25 NFTs for around $25,000 and you have your beer co-branded, or acquire 100 NFTs for $100K and jointly create your beer brand. So there are opportunities for you to co-create. Of course, it's an investment, but it's nice to see how people are so creative in adding more utility and even B2B opportunities. One thing I want to point out, at Inbound, our customer NFT Cred announced an integration with HubSpot, where all the activity with NFTs using the NFT marketplace from NFT Cred can be measured in HubSpot. When someone receives or claims an NFT or redeems an NFT to get a physical item, those actions can be assigned to a contact on the contact timeline in HubSpot. You're able to see who interacts with your NFTs and who is not, and you can re-engage. By pulling Web3 related data into HubSpot, you can use the KPIs, the tools, and user interface that you're familiar with. You're not missing out on an important part of the buyer's journey, and you can connect Web 2 and Web 3, which is super interesting. Okay, let's head over to Twitter for a moment. Twitter has become the Web3 community's favorite social media to connect. And Paris Hilton's Twitter profile is a good example to learn more about it. She's not only a Web3 influencer, but also an investor and consultant to many Web3 companies and projects. She uses an NFT as her profile picture on Twitter. One profile's picture is displayed in a hexagon when it has actually been connected to a wallet holding the NFT. So Twitter added this Web3 technology in the back end. And Web3 enthusiasts also like to show that they own an NFT domain by changing their profile name to the Web3 domain name, like parishilton.eth. They tweet about their latest NFT purchases, how they turn them into physical items, and more. And this is just the beginning. We'll increasingly see Web2 social media adopting blockchain-based features, Twitter and Instagram being in the lead, but I bet we will see other platforms adding Web3 features too.
Do you think it's all these features that Twitter offers that makes that the more popular social channel?
It's hard to say. It's like it's a hen and egg thing. I think I'm not sure why the Web3 community chose Twitter, but I think Jack Dorsey has always been he has always been super bullish on Web3, Bitcoin, decentralization. So he has always been a huge fan, and maybe it's his community that like he got them all like in and pulled them in. But also I think Twitter is a good way to connect. And also I think with Twitter Spaces, they added a good feature actually coming from what's it called again? The Clubhouse. Yeah. Where people can have these audio chats. And I think this is super helpful for people to connect in an easy way, and then also not using like real profile pictures and stuff. So yeah, the audio format is a good thing. Michael, do you have a question?
You got it. That was good.
Yeah,
okay.
Those were the questions.
Okay, great. Yeah, so aren't we what we share on social media? Through social media profiles, we define how the world perceives us as brands, but also as individuals, showing what NFTs you own, art, virtual spaces, to what communities you belong, what events you visited, certificates you acquired. I think the NFTs you own will define who you are in the future, in real life, and also in the metaverse. Here we go. There's another question for you. Who has entered the metaverse using VR, augmented reality, extended reality, but also 2D? So if you use your smartphone to enter like a virtual space, that's totally fine, that counts. So it could be Decentraland, the Sandbox, Upland, but also a Web 2 application. So a metaverse is not just Web 3, it can be Minecraft, Roblox, Meta's Horizon Worlds.
You get to vote twice if your kids are on multiple Minecraft and Roblox things.
Oh, you can if they are logged into this Zoom meeting. They can vote. But if not, that doesn't
Well, we're hoping they're at school right now.
Yeah.
Or in bed.
Roblox counts.
If they're in Europe.
All right, countdown. Yes,
In
Roblox
3,
counts
2,
down.
1. Go ahead. I think we're good with this.
Yep. Okay, 43% say yes, they have. 57% say they have not. Okay, let me tell you more about the metaverse.
That surprises me that more people are metaverse versus NFTs.
I think in a way it can be surprising. At the same time, when we look at what a metaverse is, which is not Web3 exclusive, it's really easy to actually experience a metaverse if you have tested Roblox, if you have played Fortnite, like which is considered metaverse-like, even though it's not connected to Web3, but it will eventually. So I assume it's still tricky with the NFT adoption.
Right, you think it's a low barrier of entry just because there's already existing portals and it's as easy to enter, where opposed to an NFT is having a wallet and going through the process of getting on the chain. Is that?
Yes, and I know. I guess Michael, you have NFTs. You've purchased one.
I have indeed. Yes, indeed.
So you know sometimes what pains can come with it, depending on what platform you use, the gas fees, everything is it's a bit more complicated. While you only need an iPhone, the App Store, download Fortnite, and just start playing. So it's super easy, low barrier, as you said.
So do you think it's fair to say that, you know, the sort of future of Web3 is to get as close as humanly possible to Web2 experience, right? With the decentralization, is that what this is sort of pointing towards?
I fully agree. Let me share a quick story. Like when I first purchased Bitcoin 5 years ago, it was such a clunky platform. It's a one I did that, like, which is not smart. But when I bought the Bitcoin, an email was sent to me with a bank account, and I had to transfer the money to actually receive or have the other party send the Bitcoin. Like that was such a like broken experience, but I was so curious that I did it. And then over the years, I saw how it improved. And what we see today is like 100x better than what we've seen in the past. And that's what I meant when I said, I see people building and it's getting better day by day. I see new features in the Coinbase wallet, like popping up overnight, where like now we can bridge between blockchains. Like, whoa, like this feature is like, it's life-changing to me. So this happens basically week over week, and even people that do crypto or Web3 stuff every day, all day, they say it's hard to catch up with like what's happening in the space, all the developments. And I agree, usability has to improve again, I guess, by 100x until we see massive adoption.
There's a question in the category. How much did you pay for it when you bought it originally?
Versus how much is it today?
How much did you pay for it when you originally bought Bitcoin, and where is it now?
Oh, I don't know. But I only spent 500 euro. That's what I can say for full transparency, which I say only, which is still like a risk to spend that much. But at that time, I guess it was under $10,000. I would say maybe even far less. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being transparent.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what is the metaverse? The term metaverse was not coined by Facebook, which renamed itself Meta in 2021 to emphasize its ambitions to build the metaverse, but by Neil Stephenson, author of the science fiction novel Snow Crash, published in 1992. That's 30 years ago. Stephenson's metaverse is a hybrid of the internet and a multiplayer online role-playing game. In the novel, the metaverse is much more a simulation of life rather than a video game. And it's interesting that today Stephenson's, the author of the book, says he didn't consider gaming as part of and driving innovation in the metaverse, which is clearly the case right now. I can highly recommend the book if you like outstanding sci-fi books, but to be honest, there are many other books to better understand the metaverse. So if you want to learn more about the metaverse, I would say get another one, not this fictional thing, but it's still an interesting book to read, and it's just unbelievable what he could envision like to see like the metaverse being 30 years ago, given what the tech status was back then in 1992. So since Stephenson does not truly define the metaverse at any time in the book, which is interesting, other experts such as Matthew Ball, author of the Metaverse book, have set out to write a definition. And according to him, the metaverse is a massively scaled and interoperable network of real-time rendered 3D virtual worlds that can be experienced synchronously and persistently, and with continuity of data such as identity, history, permissions, objects, communications, and payments. Let's not dive. Yes. Yeah, sure.
We have a question in the chat, and Alberto, if you want to unmute, he's asking, is there any sort of trend in UX that can be identified today? Are you asking specifically about the metaverse, Alberto, or Web3 in general?
If there's
But Web3 in general.
if there's
Are
any
there any
trend.
trend in UX?
So I would say,
Let me give you a bit of context.
please.
And why I'm asking specifically this, and it's because of my own experience. Basically, it seems to me like everybody is inventing a new UX around this environment or inside this environment. Let's put it like that, you know. And it seems to me like there is no yet a sort of a general consensus on okay how our users need to interact with whatever we have in here. You know, there is no consensus, and it's like everybody's doing whatever they are doing, and trying to mark in a way a path, but that in the end, in terms of UX, it's terrible. You know, even today, when I'm also recognizing this, what you said before, that okay, today is 100 times better than 5 years ago, but even today, the whole process is really difficult. And I'm more concerned about UX, A, because that's what I do, and B, because I think that it's a kind of the ultimate barrier in here. You know, this is not about the concept; it's how we express that concept in something that people can digest and can use.
Yeah,
And that's why I'm asking, okay, is there a sort of a trend in here? There is something that is guiding the general idea in terms of UX in this environment?
so I wouldn't say I have the answer to that, because I don't know, I don't see a trend. What I would say I can see, and I think what's necessary is that when I think the Web3 community started to build these products and these services and tools, like they didn't think of people that are not super tech savvy. Like they didn't think of like eventually millions of people would be using this, maybe billions of people would be using this. So I think they build it for like a niche audience that is super tech savvy, and like people like me that just go through the pain to understand it and use it. And I think, but when we look at all these investments in the Web3 space, what is one thing is for sure, the space can't grow if there won't, if mass adoption won't come. Like, so if my mom can't do it, like it hasn't evolved to a place where we will see this mass adoption, you know, like the average person has to be able to navigate Web3. And that just leads to one conclusion. They have like all these companies building the tools have to be more customer centric and identify the pain points for the average person. And I think consensus will come because people are across the globe are not so different. Like in the end, like we will see it all leads to the same point where we can learn from Web2 where things work. And I've seen this with the Metabro DAO that I shared with you before, where I visited the page today and I could literally tell it, they feel the pain of people not being able to adopt and use NFTs. So they offered a page where they say, hey, even if you don't have a wallet, we can now offer you a way to buy yourself into the NFT and DAO, and we hold the NFT for you as long as you need to get ready to have your own wallet, and then we transfer the NFT to you. So we can clearly see there is this pain and friction, and it leads to in-between solutions right now, but eventually what we will see is that it will be as easy as your mobile online banking in the future. I don't have the answer to what this looks like, because still we have these keys and certain things of like Web3 and how it works, but it will have to lead to this place where it's so much easier and safer.
And do you think you can get there without a sort of centralized vision, right? Because now you've got, I mean, the entire premise of Web3 is decentralization, but you know, what sort of propelled the Web2 experience is the fact that you had a unified vision in order to get there, right? And not everyone would necessarily agree with it, but they certainly, you know, there's only so many chefs that could cook the meal, right? So, you know, what do you think is a mitigating factor that's going to drive it? Is it more utility based? or is it just that there's something that's going to promote or sort of push people from their existing safe space to this new endeavor? Is it because it's fun, or is it because it's what they need, or what do you think that mitigating factor is in your opinion?
I think what's happening right now is that some companies even stop talking about NFTs. They talk about like is it digital collectibles. They want to avoid the whole, all these Web3 related terms because they scare people off. So like Starbucks, like they recently announced it, I guess like a couple of weeks ago, they did now have a digital loyalty program or something like that, where they're avoiding to talk about NFTs because they know people don't care about Web3 or what's happening in the background. It's like, we don't know what's happening when I use my iPhone. Like I download an app from the App Store. Like I don't need to know what's happening in the background. And that's what companies are working on, maybe even trying to avoid that kind of like slang, and just make it as easy as possible to adopt the technology while not talking about Web3 and blockchain at all.
Right. So it's rebranding, basically, like ditch all the really techie logos and the techie, lingo, and just say, look, this is something new from a technology standpoint. This is its utility. This is why it's great. And it doesn't have to be, we may know that it's blockchain related, or you may not. It may not be important, right? Maybe it just leads to a new experience.
Well, Nick has a point. He talked about this meta pattern emerging. That Reddit is using avatars and the introduction of a custodial wallet as an onboarding path. If you saw that in the comments in chat.
I didn't look into it, but yes, I saw that they recently onboarded millions of people using those profile pictures and avatars, and it took off. I don't have all the insights into that project, I have to say, but back to your point, Michael, is what confused me just last week, Friday. Not sure if you saw that there was a Lord of the Rings version published. And what they said is it's an NFT and you get access to the 4K version and some, like extra gadgets. But what they said is like, this is the Web3 version of, and I was like, that's interesting. Like, who do you want to attract with this? Like, this is not the average person, because Web3 is not a way to pull in the mainstream people, right? So it's like, is this intentional? Like, because Web3 people could be curious to learn more about this. Also, we know that many Web3 savvy people and many people in that space that are early adopters actually feel fine spending some money on that. Like, so we've seen that where like companies target Bored Apes owners because they know they spend hundreds of thousands on their NFTs, so there must be some money here to make. So I was wondering if that's intentional to pull people in with the Web3 terms, while others have a different approach, which is smart when it comes to the coffee brand.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I just had a conversation this week with a cannabis brand who's also launching their new NFT brand, and some of the data, as you can imagine, it's very similar, in Web3 space and the cannabis space, especially in California. It's very volatile, right? And then it's gone through its ups and downs and different sort of machinations. But the proprietor told me that, looking at his data, he can actually isolate that NFT holders were 30 or 40% converting, buying cannabis products. And largely, obviously, I think some of that is related to COVID and being in the house. It's probably also parallels the rise of NFTs too, and collecting them. But certainly, to your point, Ben, I think it certainly isolates the fact that there is a fringe group of people that it's always going to appeal to, and people that are innovators or people that are outside the box painters are going to gravitate to something new and insightful. I think it's just a matter of, it's kind of like the trend in New York, right? Like when Chelsea was the gay area, right? But then all of a sudden it became very mainstream and everyone sort of, went to it, and now it's less, sensational. It's just Chelsea, right? And I think that's what we're all trying to get to when it comes to Web3. So
yeah, I would agree. Any other questions before I proceed? Nope.
Sorry, Ben, I just, I think we might be running a little over on time. So I just want to tell everybody we're happy to stay. If you all are interested in continuing, I'm going to put a couple of links in the chat to get your swag, your coffee cup from HubSpot, and take a moment to complete our feedback survey. And besides that, let's keep going.
Okay. Let me speed up a bit. Okay. So let's not dive in too deep here. That's what I said. But let me tell you, the metaverse in its current state is far away from this definition for many reasons. To point out a few: one, the lack of high-speed data highways that connect us globally. Two, the average household does not have the computing power. And three, easy to use and powerful VR technology that is not affordable to everyone yet. But make no mistake, I've said that before, although the crypto market has collapsed a bit, hundreds of companies are building the infrastructure for the metaverse, and I'll show you a few very simple examples. So everyone claims that they're building the metaverse or a metaverse or something for the metaverse right now. It is very likely that in the future, we will not wander around in one virtual space, which is the metaverse owned by one company, while other projects just disappear. But we will see many microverses like Decentraland, the Sandbox, Microsoft's business-to-business approach Mesh, Pavia, High Street, or Meta's Horizon. The question is whether the developments lead to a fragmented metaverse, to a fragmented virtual space. As in social media, I'm sure many of you are on LinkedIn, but not Twitter. Some are on Instagram, but not TikTok, and vice versa. And these networks are disconnected, and nothing you build on social media can be taken with you. Nothing is fully owned by you. So it doesn't have to be this way. The keyword is interoperability. Users would need to be able to take the digital identity and associated data, such as objects, achievements, or permissions with them from one microverse to another. And today you learn more about this tool to bridge the gap between the microverses. It's the non-fungible token, the NFT. You can take it as a building block of the connected metaverse. And we see more and more companies and teams working on it. The World of Women NFT project rewarded token holders with an apartment on the OnCyber platform. That's what I shared with you, that I was granted this for free because I'm a World of Women holder. Basically, a piece of the metaverse is created where you display your NFTs and others can visit your space. But displaying NFTs is not limited to the World of Women NFTs here. You can display all NFTs on the Ethereum chain in your crypto wallets. So I curated this gallery, and it is filled with NFTs from 5 different collections, like the Puma one, Warner Music, and Boss Beauty's NFTs. And so much more is possible. One microverse I have tested a lot is the Sandbox. And in the Sandbox, user can visit experiences, which are virtual spaces. You can visit NFT galleries, play Super Mario-like jump runs. We spoke about Super Mario today. Or fight your way through hordes of enemies in medieval adventures. NFTs you own can be used in some levels and give you advantages. The Sandbox, like many microverses, has its own cryptocurrency called Sand, which can be earned on play-to-earn basis and traded on crypto exchanges like Coinbase. Engaging with the Sandbox microverse, you get a good idea of how brands, personal brands, organizations, or communities like World of Women, The Walking Dead, Warner Music, Atari, or Paris Hilton are embedded in the metaverse experiences. They're part of the missions, and players can engage in many new ways with those brands and artists like never seen before. And for some NFT owners, the Sandbox has a special perk, which is really cool. If the wallet you use to log into the Sandbox contains an NFT from Nike's Clone X or Bored Apes Yacht Club, Moonbirds, Steve Aoki, Snoop Dogg, the World of Women, or many others, you can select a custom avatar. You won't receive a free NFT, but you can receive an avatar, and you can use that one to visit all those Sandbox experiences. And here you can see my World of Women Galaxy NFT breakdancing. And my heart beat faster when it was announced that skateboarding legend Tony Hawk wants to build the biggest skate park in the metaverse, in the Sandbox. And maybe like me, some of you spent many hours lacing all the tricks and accomplishing all missions on consoles like Xbox or PlayStation, unlocking levels, new characters, and boards. And in the sandbox, you will not only be able to build a skate park yourself, you'll be able to cruise around with your own avatars in the Tony Hawk game with a Bored Ape or a World of Women avatar. And you will be able to own your Tony Hawk avatar if you wish to. You will experience the Tony Hawk franchise like never before, co-creating it, owning a part of the Tony Hawk brand. So microverses, yeah.
Effectively, this is basically Ready Player One, right? Like this is what we're kind of moving towards in terms of the metaverse.
I would fully agree. These are the thoughts that I have, like where you see the car, you know, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And then next to it, it's like a very different character from a very different franchise. But now we, as users, we can co-create and curate and build our own mix of worlds. Like when we were small children and we took like, you know, I don't know, like a He-Man, you know, figure, and then it fought a Star Wars figure. And that was just our imagination, not possible due to the property rights and stuff. But now we can do it.
No, this is great. Would you say that the metaverse is sort of the commercial version of you know, possibilities as opposed, well, I guess a commercial, more nostalgic version, right? Or interactivity version as opposed to Web3 in general? Like, is there a stark difference in terms of definition for you?
I think nostalgic to some of us, to me, as I was like part of Web 1 and Web 2. But then to others, it's just, they will just curate whatever they think is nice and cool. And they grow up having this opportunity, right? Like my son and my children, like they grow up having for them, it's totally normal that you can mix all these creatures and figures and brands. So for them, it's native. While for us, we are nostalgic and we are like, oh, I always wished we could do that. Now we can do it.
Right.
So microverses like Sandbox don't just let you build skate parks, they give you the tools to build your own virtual worlds and fill them with your NFTs. And these NFTs can be artwork, but also characters like dragons or other interactive objects. It's so easy that my 9-year-old son, I've mentioned it before, used Sandbox Game Maker to build a soccer stadium, complete with a walk-in VIP area and locker rooms. So some experiences built by creators have been selected by the Sandbox team and are playable for all users. And the creators receive the native Sand token for designs of these experiences. And you can also use the Sandbox box editor to build virtual items yourself based on templates or from scratch. And creators who qualify for the Creators Fund program can upload and sell their NFTs in the Sandbox marketplace. 95% of the revenue goes to the creator, which is awesome because just in comparison, Meta takes 47.5% fee for each item sold. And as far as I know, these digital assets are not NFTs that can be held and function outside of the Meta ecosystem. It's a closed system. So, however, I believe a truly interoperable and decentralized metaverse is desirable. We should build to connect all those rising microverses, build to connect all those DAOs, those decentralized autonomous organization. It's built to put the user front and center as a consumer and creator and in control of his or her identity and assets. The user as the true owner of all tokens, including NFTs, as a vehicle to connect the building blocks of Web3, rather than separating separating us, connecting people across the web, across the globe. Thank you.
Great job, Ben. I mean, what a beefy topic to take on, but it definitely made it easy for us to digest and understand.
I hope so. Thank you.
Yes, Ben, amazing. How you did that in 45 minutes is beyond me. There were so many really big topics within this one. So
yeah, I'm sweating like this.
Great job, and thank you very much, Ben, and all of you. Very much appreciated.
Yes, and thank you everybody for attending and joining us today. And please do take a moment to fill out that survey where we ask you for future topics you'd like to see covered. And that's kind of where this Web3 topic came from.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for your attention. Thanks,
Thank you,
NTR
everyone.
Marketing.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Ben.
Bye.
Thank you.